Thank you. SoroSwap. Change faster, swap better. SoroSwap Finance is an open source automated market maker with ecosystem interoperability. This means that we are focused in integrating other protocols of Soroban and Stellar in order to trade assets in Soroban and Stellar. This is our team. We are Palta Labs, Francisco, and Joaquin, and me, Esteban. We are all Chileans. We are a full stack blockchain developers team building open source in Soroban. We need SoroSwap. We need a exchange. We need a decentralized exchange where we can trade Soroban native tokens. With Soroban, we'll have maybe algorithmic stablecoins. Maybe we will have tokens that will represent a position in a Lightning protocol. So with the current decentralized exchange in Stellar, you cannot trade those assets. So we need an alternative in Soroban. Our goal is to build the DeFi building blocks for the ecosystem. And we believe that Soroban will succeed if we all share our code. SoroSwap Finance is currently based on Uniswap version 2. We are going to upgrade it in the future, but we believe that in the beginning, we need a basic algorithm that everybody knows, understands, and users are used to use. By building SoroSwap, our team is giving value to the ecosystem by publishing code. We are giving value as well, contacting other players in the ecosystem, and by supporting the Soroban React library, where developers can interact their smart contracts with their React.js frontend. So if you need something like that, please come and talk to us because we are supporting the library. These are other examples of code that we have been sharing with the community. And yes, please check it out. It's live, the front end, the landing page in soroswap.finance. Please keep in mind that it is still under development. With the new updates, we need to still upgrade our code, but we are rushing to have it ready for testnet and then for mainnet. But the user experience is very similar with other MAMs on the decentralized exchange in the ecosystem. The user can choose a liquidity pool that already exists, or they can create a new liquidity pool. The user will see how many tokens they are providing from each pool, and then they will confirm the transaction with their wallet. Right? Yes. While swapping tokens, the same, they can choose and they can see the slippage. They will know how many tokens they will receive or how many tokens they will send. And this is like a confirmed transaction model. We are rushing, as I said, to have SoroSwap ready for Soroban mainnet. However, SoroSwap Finance development doesn't stop there. We are partnering with other ecosystem players, specifically with indexers, in order to calculate an optimal routing when there is a pair with not enough liquidity between those two tokens, or maybe when there is no direct pair. And the next step, of course, for us is to aggregate other MAMs. So please check it out in soroswap.finance. We have been working with an external design agency in order to give you a very beautiful front end. Please come and talk to us if you have any question about SoroSwap or about Palta Labs. Thank you.
All right. Hi there. So my name's Steve. I'm the CEO of the Blue Marble. The Blue Marble is all about allowing brands to drive customer loyalty programs using NFTs and increasing their sales. In this presentation, I'm going to show you how we're combining Soroban with our go-to-market strategies to scale adoption in the blockchain space. So in terms of the problems that we're looking to solve as a business is we're all about accessibility when it comes to blockchain. How we can make it easier for more people to access our space. At the same time, we've got problems with the NFT narrative, and that we feel that we're evolving that now sensibly with utility and real-world significance is a key driver in how we take our industry forward. And then finally, Web 2, we see that there's big problems in terms of the marketing that happens in the Web 2 space, and how can we fix issues with things like paid advertising models becoming more and more expensive. So when we think about how we're going to increase the adoption of the work that we do, we want to get tied into where our customers already live and go and fix problems there. Because of that, we've chosen Shopify as our bridge into the mass market. Shopify now own 40% of the global e-commerce space. And underneath the services that we're providing using Shopify, we have Soroban that we're using to power the digital assets that are being issued. So again, why focus on Shopify? Well, there's 4 million businesses out there that run on that platform. And with a 1%, let me get the video going. And with a 1% adoption, that can see us working with 40,000 different stores. And each of those stores gives us permission to interact with all their customers behind there and pushing out stellar wallets to their customers and client bases. In terms of how we're using Soroban, then we've baked a lot of flexibility into the contract. So we can work with different types of NFTs. We can have classics with a single issuance. We can have NFTs which fractionalize the assets that they represent. We're also very much around with our brand loyalty focus that we allow royalties. We've taken royalties and extended it beyond the normal creator royalty space. So royalties can be used by brands to assign revenue through to social and environmental causes that they want to support. And then we have adaptability within our contract where we're looking at other use cases that support a business operation, such as automation of providing certificates of authenticity when physical products are being shipped and sold. Next. So in terms of where we are right now, we've developed our main Soroban contracts. It's going well. We've created an API bridge, which is using Lambda, which means we can connect our Ruby on Rails app through to the Soroban network. We're already live in the Shopify store. I better hurry up, actually. We're live in the Shopify store with a version 1, and we've got a growing client base of early clients that we're working with and using them to refine our product roadmap. In terms of the next few months, we've got really exciting next 3 to 6 months. We're ready to go live with the mainnet launch. We should get going a couple of months after Soroban's fully live. We've got a V2 Shopify app that we'll be releasing. That's going to support minting, NFT gifting. It's going to allow social sharing in NFTs. We're converting it into a fully fledged customer loyalty application for store owners to use. And we've got some interesting enterprise sales conversations that we're having. So before the time runs out, I would love to say, if you'd like to connect and if there's partnering that we can do within the community, get in touch. It'd be great to talk. If you know of any Shopify store owners who you think would like to talk about Web3 and how we could be helping them grow their businesses, again, would love to talk with them. In the meantime, scan that lovely QR code, get in touch, and thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your Meridian. Thank you.
Lovely, thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Matthias Young. I'm the co-founder of Ebioro, a company dedicated to improving financial inclusion in Latin America with an initial focus on Cuba. Really grateful and happy to be able to present our newest project, Trilobite, a cash flow financing protocol built on Soroban, focusing on Latin America and the Caribbean. So to give you a bit of context on the problem we're trying to solve, borrowers today in Latin America and the Caribbean face some difficulties to take out loans related to the problems that the countries that the borrowers operate in have. Things like corruption, weak monetary system, lack of financial infrastructure, things like that. And so one of the ways to get around this is a specific type of loan called cash flow financing, where the loan repayments are guaranteed by the future income of the borrower. Now, very successful in its use, but widespread adoption remains low because it's so expensive. Two types of costs in particular, very high administrative costs on the ground, and you need a financial intermediary. You need a bank to act in between the lender and the borrower, which is very expensive. And so what we've decided to do is to connect the borrowers and the lenders directly without any third-party intermediaries via the smart contracts on Soroban, significantly reducing costs. You don't need those administrative resources on the ground anymore as well, so that should save some costs too. Something to include here, payment actor concept. So this is a way to keep that level of trust between the lenders and the borrowers high. This is an entity that can make payments on behalf of the borrower to the lender, kind of like a guarantor for the loan. And then also I wanted to mention, so we want to go live with a permission vault system. So this is a closed system, provides more flexibility to the borrowers and the investors in terms of loan renegotiation because they know each other already. It's a closed system. Briefly on how it works, you have the borrowers and the lenders which are connected via the borrower's vault. This is the actual smart contract, connects the two parties. And then as I mentioned before, the introduction of the payment actor. So the payment actor can make payments on behalf of the borrower in case there's some trust issues or something, something like that. And so something quickly on the target market. So there's a real dead zone for loans, loan sizes ranging between 100K and 20 million. Anything below 100K can be serviced locally. Anything above 20 million, those borrowers can really take advantage of their size, economies of scale, and use traditional cash flow financing schemes. And so briefly how this works in the kind of overall Ebioro ecosystem. So I'm going to use the case of Cuban financial inclusion. In the top left, you have a snapshot of the Ebioro wallet, a non-custodial peer-to-peer wallet that facilitates off-ramping in Cuba. The use of the wallet incentivizes companies to sign up with our Ebioro Enterprise system, which is a company payments platform, which then gives them access to Trilobite, so they can then take out loans, grow their business, provide more products and services, incentivize more users to join, and really create a cycle of virtuous growth that benefits all. And I'm mentioning this in the context of Cuban financial inclusion, but of course, this applies to all of the Stellar network. This is actually something we're really excited on, is to speak to you guys, see how we can collaborate and really take some steps forward there. And so very briefly before I finish on where we are and the next steps, we started this in March 2023. It's been incredibly fast-paced and exciting since then. We were fortunate enough to get the Stellar community funding, and based on your fantastic comments, we were really able to narrow down and integrate the lending, borrowing, and repayment structure, as well as the default scenario handling. Right now, we're working on onboarding and loan renegotiation. So on behalf of the rest of the team, Ulexi and Karel are both here. We'd like to thank you all for listening. Thank you, Anke. Thank you, Stellar, for a fantastic event. It's great to be in Madrid, seeing so many familiar faces. And yeah, I'd love to keep the conversation going after today, or after the presentation. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Christian Kafari. Next, cool. I'm the head of accounts at OtterSec. And today, I'm going to be talking about the importance of formal verification. So it's going to be less of a pitch, more so a presentation on formal verification, what we're doing for the Soroban platform to make sure it's a more secure place to build smart contracts in the first place. So a little bit about us. I don't know why I needed two pictures of myself here, but there are. So there's that one. It's a rare occasion you'll see me in a suit, and then there's one in the top right. But the rest of our team, Robert Chen, he couldn't make it here, unfortunately, is comprised of PhD graduates, lawyers, financial analysts that have all gotten together to exploit code and ultimately build more secure environments for blockchains across the world. Together, between all of us, we've secured over $5 billion in on-chain TVL and counting. So with mainnet coming soon, that number will only increase. What is formal verification? So I asked you what the importance of it was. Here's the definition of it. It's a systematic approach to providing the correctness of smart contracts designed relative to a certain set of applications, or specifications rather. And why does this matter? I mean, I'll tell you why. Here's why I love it. The guarantees are you have increased security. So when you're going to build these smart contracts in the first place, you're going to have prompts that tell you, hey, this is absolutely not allowed. And you'll prevent your protocol from being drained in the first place, which obviously kills projects in most cases. Another one is compliance. Current political landscape requires a high level of assured security. And we all love politics, right? No, we don't. We want to stay as far away from them as possible, so ensuring the security in this place is what we are here to do. And then saving costs. Cheaper audits when it's time to review the code and review the smart contracts that are written in the first place. And then so holistic security, obviously fixing the problem is primary concern, making sure you understand why it's a problem, and so these things don't occur in the future. Here's what we have done. So we have the framework built. So we built on top of Connie. It's a verification framework adapted to Soroban to help you write more secure Rust code in your smart contracts. It allows for easy verification of critical invariants. As you can see in that bottom right screenshot, you get an error message if amount B, say when you're going to swap one token for another, is less than the minimum of B for A. Amount A must be less than the minimum of amount A for B. So at that rate, you would get an error, basically telling you right away that you've made an error and wouldn't even let you to deploy the contract in the first place. Which, 3, is a one-liner specification of the complex conditions that are developing smart contracts. So, only thing we do is advise you to start early, so save time for testing, to test every code path. A lot of this tooling is still in the works, and will be ready for mainnet. So, and at that rate, obviously formal verification can't cover everything. There are various edge cases that are very important to have a third party look at by trusted audit partners. Our blog will have everything that you'll need to know about the formal verification framework that we've built. And so stay up to date on the latest news. Like I said, frameworks are not always 100% secure. Feel free to contact us, reach out. That's my link tree and everything else you need to know. Thank you.
That's great. All right, next up we have Enrique from FXDAO. Give it up for Enrique.
Hello. Thank you. I'm Enrique. I've been building FXDAO basically since Soroban started, the first public version. Well, what is FXDAO? It's just a decentralized protocol to the issuance of stablecoins backed by Lumens. And why do we do this type of protocols? Well, first, because there are 3 main issues with the stablecoins. Even though issuer, they try to be as doing everything in the book, basically being as trustworthy, being solvent, doing everything right. If the banks, intermediaries, etc., they fail too. So even though if you try to be the best, you are still in the race of others. Also, we don't have no denominations. We always talk about mass adoption, but let's be real. If we don't use all the currencies available, then we will never see mass adoption. And there are also transparency issues. You know, there are stablecoins, even though we believe in some of them, there are some of them that actually we don't even know if they are solvent. So that's another risk. So basically, if we allow minting stablecoins and burning stablecoins just backed by lumens, this is pretty good because it's easy, it's transparent. You basically just put lumens, you over-collateralize them, and you get a loan in form of stablecoins. Same if you do the other process, burning the stablecoins, you get the collateral back. This is inspired by some protocols on other networks. For example, Liquidity and MakerDAO, they use something similar. And basically, we believe this is one way to actually to have more options. But that's also why we need solutions like FXDAO. Well, you know, people sometimes they don't want to sell their collateral. They just want to get a little bit of liquidity. Maybe if they got a grant or something like that, they will just try, okay, I just need a little bit of liquidity and that's it. But also people want to diversify. I have a lot of funds in stablecoins, but even though sometimes I'm scared because everything is in just a few of them, and it's like banks. If you have all of your money in one bank and that bank fails, you're gonna be in bad situations. You can also leverage your positions. For example, you can just lock your lumens, say, buy more lumens, get the stablecoin, buy more lumens, get the stablecoin. This is risky, pretty risky, but it's also possible to do if you want to do it. And users want transparency, especially with some big players that even today, we believe if they are not solvent, we are gonna get screwed in the blockchain ecosystem. I'm not gonna say names, of course, and also, well, mass adoption. You know, currently our roadmap, we are in the phase 0. Probably we are the first legally incorporated DAO in Soroban. We are incorporated in the Martian Islands. They allow incorporating DAOs legally. Our protocol was almost ready, but you know, Soroban is evolving, Soroban is changing stuff. So we also need to do it, but we have a plan to on phase 4. Basically, our idea is to have a full governance process because the DAO LLC that is in the Martian Islands, we can actually do that in the governance space. And the idea is that we can hand off the protocol, so the community is the one that actually can continue building it. I think we have a problem. Yep, well, I guess we have a problem. Well, thanks. If you want to know a little bit more about FXDAO, just talk with me. And I'm also the developer of Elfu Wallet, which is a wallet that has been in the Stellar ecosystem for a few years. So, yeah, that's all. Thank you.
All right. Here. Oh, looks like we're all set. Real well, in this case, we are now ready for Christian. Let's do it. Let's give it up for Christian. All right.
So, yes, hi. My name is Christian. I'm also known as Soneso in the Stellar community. I'm a Stellar developer who wants to talk about Arcturus today. So when it comes to requesting data from related to Stellar and to Soroban, we have an extensive infrastructure, including tools like many SDKs, Horizon, different blockchain explorers, or for example, the Soroban RPC server. However, these tools are not always easy to use for end users. In addition, end users mostly often don't know all the possibilities that they can have with these tools, and also sometimes don't know which tool to trust or not to trust. And so my idea to improve the usability here was to provide a personal AI assistant who knows the infrastructure and can access it for the user. So so Arcturus was born. And Arcturus is a user-installed extension for ChatGPT, which allows the AI model to access real-time Stellar and Soroban data, but it will also be able to perform actions like, for example, sending a payment or invoking a smart contract. And the highlight hereby is that the user does so within a communication, within a conversation with ChatGPT by using natural language. So, and next I would like to show you a short demo of this that I prepared for today. Let's imagine we have heard about an interesting asset, and we want to check about the asset issuer ID to validate it, to see if we can get some information about it. So now I'm starting my conversation. Very simple at the beginning, how many lumens does this account have? As you can see, ChatGPT or the AI model uses the Arcturus plugin to fetch the data and shows me the result, which is 99 lumens. Next, display a table with the assets that this account issued. You can see the Arcturus plugin gets the information, turns back to ChatGPT, and we can see the last one is the interesting one. It has 43,000 trust lines. So it seems to be okay because many people trust this. And so now my next question is, can I trust this account? And now, based on the information ChatGPT already has, it gives me some tips. For example, it has this domain, ultrastellar.com. Also, there's one asset which has a lot of trust lines. But we can also fetch directory info to provide more context. Would you like me to fetch more directory info? And I say yes, please. So, and now the Arcturus plugin is checking with another infrastructure tool with Stellar Expert with the directory info and returns the corresponding data so that we can see, okay, this is tagged as an anchor and issuer seems to be okay. So my next question is, are there more assets named IXLM on the Stellar network? And now we can see there's a whole list of them. They don't have ours is number 7 with the 42,000 trust lines. The others have not so many trust lines. So we can just for fun check another one to see if this is trustworthy. And we can see, okay, no, this is scam. It is not a good account. But Arcturus is not only good for end users, it can be also very useful for developers, like we will see in the next communication, where I'm asking, show me the contract metadata and spec of this Soroban contract on FutureNet. So it can also change networks. What the Arcturus plugin does here is to fetch the Soroban RPC server, get the binary code of this contract, parse the specific specification, and here, for example, we have one function named swap with this parameter, so it's probably the atomic swap contract. So that's it from my side. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. If you want your tool to be integrated into Arcturus, just contact me and we can talk. Thank you.
Give it up for Jan from AirSwift. All right.
Hi everyone, I'm Ian. Today I'm coming here with Colin, one of our Soroban smart contract engineers. The reason we propose supply chain financing platform is trying to deliver crypto-enabled benefits to real-world businesses, particularly small to medium-sized enterprises get involved in global trading activities. So supply chain financing is very complex and challenging. So I'm not going to go through all the doable situations today because time limitations. I'm going to pick up the most classic ones. In these situations, you do have a strong buyer, which means the supplier has payment terms. If supplier wants to get money earlier, typically get to factoring services. The problem is typically only the supplier who directly sell to this buyer can get factoring services. For the upstream supplier, normally they are SMEs, they cannot get money. So whether the blockchain can provide a level of traceability and transparency to allow this SME to get financial support. something we try to resolve. In addition to that, for crypto creditor, are they able to generate income from real-world business operations? Can we use USDC on Stella to settle all the transactions? There are other challenges we try to resolve. The key is something we call initiation, split, and transferring process. The supplier and the buyer work together to mint the invoices into NFT or certificate. The supplier will split them into small pieces and can transfer to upstream suppliers. When the lender pay to these suppliers, they will pay to the certificate holders. By doing that, because everything is on blockchain, you ensure the money only land to the SME who provide the order really to the ultimate buyers. So here is the process. Sorry, I don't know why the video did not play. Oh, it's working now. Okay, thank you. So, so basically, this is minting the invoices. The supplier creates a certificate as account receivables. And whenever they confirm, and they can work with the buyer to sign off this certificate to ensure the legitimacy of certificate. And they can be transferred to upstream suppliers. Normally, they are SMEs. They cannot get financing through in the traditional way. And they're going to publish their loan request in the platform. And the crypto lender, whoever want to lend money, they can accept, click the request. They can bid to see who has a better offering. Eventually, everything is done with USDC. The buyer eventually will pay USDC to the lender. So who we are? So AirSuite was founded by a couple of cross-border payment companies. Our annual volume is about $100 billion. AirSuite as a Web3 arm, we was founded last year, and we spent 10 months to develop product. Since March, we are in operational mode. Our monthly volume increased by 10 times. We're heading to $50 million a month. Right now, we already have our MVP released. You can work with Colin to try it. We're going to engage a customer next quarter, finish alpha testing end of the year, and do beta testing early next year with more use cases. We're going to launch the product by the end of Q2 next year. By then, we hope our supply chain financing volume is about between $10 to $40 million a month. And hopefully, we can work with Stella together to drive this activity together. Thank you.
That was great. Well, give it up for Eloy from Nebula and Quasar.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Eloy. I am a software developer at Jaeger. And today I am going to talk about how our two projects, Nebula and Quasar, facilitates the onboarding to institutions and developers to the Soroban ecosystem. But first of all, let's see who we are. Jaeger is a Finnish company that helps leading ecosystems scale up and build their core technology. Specifically for this team, we have Geoffrey, Marius, Tomek, and myself. We have very diverse backgrounds here from C++, Rust, Ethereum, among others. When entering a new ecosystem like Soroban, institutions and developers face several challenges, such as technical entry barrier, security concerns, adherence to best practices, among others. So how we can minimize these barriers, how we can make this easier for them? Our answer is by sharing the building blocks of the financial logic. And this is exactly what Nebula is committed to. Nebula provides a production-grade smart contract catalog. It also provides a no-code builder in which developers can browse the catalog and also compose the contracts. All these contracts are going to be security audited internally by people in our company and externally by external other security firms. And they are going to also providing trust to the entire ecosystem, and they are going to be also extremely well documented, including last security reports And last but not least, we are going to also, we are extending the current Soroban tooling. What we have built so far. So far, we have built several POC contracts, among them a state-controlled governance one. We have also a very first version of the no-code builder we are going to see in the demo. And we are currently continuing researching for adding more features to it. We have also an OCI-compatible contract publish import tool that aims to take composition to the next level. As we can see in the very first image, we can see how we can, with a CLI command, publish a once file against one of our GitHub package registries. So then in order to use this contrast, to download this contrast, we just need to specify some metadata in our cargo tom, like what are the contrasts we want to download, where are they placed, what are their versions, and lastly, use it as we will use the known Soroban cross-contract call tool. In the future, we would like to also add non-repudiation capabilities to this by digitally signing the contract, but this is still under research. Then it's time for the demo of the no-code editor. Here we can see how it dynamically loads the contracts from the repository. We can do small modifications in the contract. This is not very advanced yet, but we are working for adding more features in the future. And then we are also trying to play cohesively with the current Soroban tools. We can see an invoke button on each public function call that is going to provide our CLI, Soroban CLI command as a template. Our second project is Quasar. Quasar is our high-performance indexer. It's going to provide in the indexed data of the contracts and also analytics via the GraphQL API endpoints. And we are building it in terms of we want others to be able to build it on the top of this core infrastructure. So let's collaborate. If you have an interesting use case for the contract catalog that can be used for others in the community, we want to talk with you. Also, if you are a security specialist. And last thing I would like to say is that all of us here is a common goal, which is bringing this Web3 technology to the mainstream era. So let's do it together. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. That was great. All right. Well, next up, we have Jose and
So we are Cash Abroad. I'm the CTO. We are a payment platform for business in LATAM, international business. And as such, we understand the impact that this business have in the region. That's why we have decided to not only facilitate payments, but also allow them to help them in how they donate to our region. That's why we have built a feature called matching gifts. So what is a matching gift? A matching gift is when an employee wants to make a donation to a certain charity, and then the company matches the amount. So in this case, the charity will receive 90 USDC. But it has huge problems. Right now, charities are receiving $3 billion annually, but they are leaving on the table $10 billion from unclaimed matching gifts. That means that the process didn't finish, and that is because it's very manual and there is a lack of transparency. So how it works right now? First, an employee makes a donation. Then the employee needs to check manually if the company for which they work for offers the opportunity of matching gifts. If this is the scenario, then they need to fulfill a form, and the form needs to be sent via email, and at the end, they hope the process ends. So it's not the case. So that's why we build quadratic funded matching gifts with Soroban, with three things in mind. First, we will automate the process. So once an employee makes a donation, everything will pass through a Soroban smart contract, and the matching gift will be done. Secondly, it will be completely transparent. So there is a dashboard for the companies and a dashboard for the employees so that they can see how the donations are going. And finally, we went a step forward and add the quadratic funding dynamic. And what is this? So the quadratic funding needs first a matching pool that is created by the company, and then it's distributed via this quadratic funding distribution. So it takes into account the amount of the donation, but also the number of contributors. Here is an example. So the way it works, a company creates a donation event. Then each employee receives a wallet. They need to make a donation. Each donation is made through one of the wallets to certain charity. In this case, the first one, 50 USDC, are done for charity number 1, and the second one, 100 USDC to the second charity. Then everything is stored in the smart contract as a val, 630 USDC in this case. Then we apply the matching pool that is given by the company. So there are other 60-30 USDC. And for this, we apply the quadratic funding. So at the end, charities receive two things. One, the donation from the employees, and two, the matching gift quadratic funding. So in this case, you can see that charity 1 received as matching gift quadratic funding 276, which is a big amount in comparison to charity 2, because charity 2 has only 2 donations. So let's see the platform. Here is Alberto to tell you more.
So here is the donation screen. In this screen, the company will be able to perform 3 main functionalities. The first one is to select a name to their event. The second one is to select which matching gift they want to apply. In this case, we select the 2 times and the quadratic funding. And the last one is to select which and how many charities they want to help. Once they are done with this, a new contract will be initialized and deployed, and a new screen will be available for the employees. In this screen, the employees will be able to found their wallet and also make a donation. Once they make a donation, the amount will be discounted from their wallet and added to the contract, as we can see right here. And once the time for the contract is up, you will be able how much your employees donated and how much you donated after the matching gift. Thank you.
So what we are expecting is to take 10% of this 10 billion, which is 1 billion, and use it thinking that the average donation is of 1,000. And so that gives us 10 million transactions for the ecosystem of Soroban. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, can I have the, yeah. All right, next up we have Matush from Soroban Assistant.
Thank you. Hello everyone, my name is Matush and I'm the developer of Soroban Assistant. Soroban Assistant simplifies 3 core aspects of your development process, and that is accessing documentation, programming, and testing. The problem we're tackling is twofold. First, it's an efficient start for new developers. Second, code reviews and writing tests takes up an inordinate amount of time and slows down your development process. We've created Soroban Assistant with these 4 features: chatbot for quick access to Soroban documentation, code generator that turns text descriptions into code, testing module for automated smart contract tests, and AI-powered code audit for efficient code reviews. Essentially, the goal of Soroban Assistant is to reduce development time and effort for developers. The magic behind Soroban Assistant is LLMs, large language models. These models enable natural language understanding and automate tasks in a manner previously thought impossible. The second vital part is a server with a standalone environment to compile, deploy, and run smart contracts. Now we can have a closer look at the testing module. There are 3 main steps. First step is to generate calls from code using an LLM. Second step is to execute these calls on a deployed smart contract and use LLM again to compare the predicted and actual results. And third step is to generate the testing code from the calls, taking into account the predicted and actual results. Next, we're going to see a really hectic 4 times sped up video of the demo. So first we ask it the question, it starts replying, and there's also a feature to check out the documentation it used for its answer. Second, we use the code generator to write a calculator contract, generates a contract with 4 calls to add, subtract, divide, and multiply to numbers. Next, we edit this prompt to get the contract only with a single call, so it parameterizes these 4 calls into a string parameter called operation. Thirdly, we copy this code and we input it in the testing module where it generates tests directly from the code. And also at each step, it also provides explanation below. And lastly, it's going to be the audit, again, where the input is code and it replies with potential improvements or concerns. So the progress we've made so far is we've made a demo available at soroban-assistant.herocweb.com. It's a bit rough around the edges right now, but we want to focus on each part separately now to make it really robust to handle even the most complex cases. Feedback and ideas are always welcome. And right now, we're focused on the testing module, and which was presented earlier. Next steps would include a powerful debugger that can fix your broken code, given the error message. And also, we'd like to turn this into a ChatGPT plugin, Discord bot, and last but not least, add Stellar Classic documentation. Thank you for your time and attention. If you have specific questions about the details, please connect with me after the presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Next up, we have Patrick from DID Stellar. Give it up for Patrick.
Thank you, Anke. Good afternoon, everyone. I am proud to announce that as of 23 minutes ago, Soroban has an identity layer using an implementation of DIDs, which is a W3 standard. This is a passport. It was created for the paper world. Served me well this morning to get into the country, but it's not built for the digital world. Right? I can't use this passport to sign assertions. I can't use it to receive and hold more assertions about my height, my name, or any new information. And also, I can't use it to verify any assertions. I can't use it in the digital world, let alone in Stellar. Now, this is a DID. This is a unique, globally unique identifier that has a public and a private key associated with it that you can use to issue assertions, to hold any assertions with you, or to verify them, right? Very, very simple. Now, with this model, you can apply it to literally any use case you can think of related to identity. You can use it for KYC, not having to resubmit all the documentation again, so have portable identity. You can use it for voting. You can use it, think about refugee identity management. You can even use it to digitalize the current passports, right? So, and this is actually what the US government is doing today. They're using DIDs, verifiable credentials, for all their identity formats. So from IDs, driver license, passport. 5 years from now, up to 10 years from now, these things go slow. If you're American, you'll be using this. If you're European, it's likely that you're also going to be using this. Now, I'll leave the details on Discord of how to access it, how to use it. So this is open for everyone to use it, for anyone to apply it to their own projects. And I wanted to use an example of how we're using it ourselves with a project called NeoFlow. So in this case, what we're doing is we're creating a passport for a barrel of oil so that you can see all the details about that barrel of oil from the moment it's born, from the moment it's sourced from the well, until the moment it's refined. In our specific use case, we're using this information for cross-border clearance with US CBP, right? So each single barrel, or really each batch of 40,000 barrels, has their own identity. So when it gets to the border, they show their passport. In all cross-border clearance, it's automatic, right? It just happens. Think about the Nexus program for barrels of oil. So I hope this got you excited to think and to double click on what DIDs are, what DIDs in Soroban are. If you have more questions, if you want us to help you guys get set up, reach out and we'll have a conversation. Thanks, everyone.
All right, well, next up we have Tillman from Observer. Give it up for Tillman.
Thank you. My project, Observer, within the SCF or on the Discord, you'll find it as Horizon as a Service as well. So the idea is to provide managed infrastructure for Soroban and Stellar. A little bit about me. My main focus has been DevOps engineer for a few years. So a lot of focus on trying to standardize standardize infrastructure and just make it repeatable and easy to use. So if anyone's right now, everyone's building on Stellar and Soroban. So you've more than likely run into at least one or all of these issues between Horizon, different rate limits on the public nodes. So you have a lot of requests going through your application. So you'll definitely hit the rate limits on the public nodes right now. Also reliability as far as these public nodes. Not that they're always going down, but if you're providing a production service, right now they're not meant for production use cases. So a lot of times you'll have to come up with some different hacks or workarounds to be able to get around the rate limits and try to boost up the reliability on your own from these public infrastructure resources. And also, as far as not enough resources, you may have developers on your team, you may not have infrastructure engineers or DevOps people. So that's one thing we're trying to focus on, as we'll provide the resources for you. So right now, these are kind of issues that we've seen in the Discord, different installation issues. These are pretty much around getting Horizon installed and going, and then also the RPC servers. So these are the things that we're trying to help resolve, and also just trying to make it kind of standardized. So right now, they might provide Helm charts, and we have Docker containers, but even then, there's a lot of developers that don't know the infrastructure enough to be able to spin everything up. So our solution to this, the first part of our solution is called Observer Gateway, which is just the managed shared solution for Horizon as a service. So you just have one gateway that'll get you access to Soroban RPC and then also for Horizon. Now, we also have Observer nodes, which are kind of they're the dedicated enterprise version of Observer Gateway. So you can spin up your own cluster. We'll have RPC server, we'll have Horizon, all in that one cluster for you. So for us, since we're a small entity, we have bigger players like Blockdaemon and even Now Nodes. I know Now Nodes is in here. Since we're small, we have to focus on being more flexible. So we'll have to kind of work with all of the founders directly to try to figure out, okay, what do you need within your solution? So we kind of build that. But then also with the flexibility and speed, since we're trying to focus on that repeatability of getting the infrastructure going, if we have the Observer nodes, we can just go ahead and get something spinned up for you very quickly. So as far as sustainability and going forward, for Observer Gateway and Observer nodes, it'll be based off of usage-based pricing. So Observer Gateway is based on the number of calls And for reserver nodes, it's based on price per hour. And then also with the enterprise solution, we'll be focused more on customized solution and support. Thank you, everyone. I would like to meet all of you. So if you would like to just come to talk to me afterwards, we can kind of talk about your projects. I would like to know more about you, so I can see what we can do to help you. Thank you.
Great. All right. Well, last but not least, we have a Christian.
Hello. Hello. I'm Christian, and this is Anthony. And we're going to be talking to you today about your emerging market data oracle and XM volatility price feed oracle. We have a larger team. We have Jeff in the audience here. We also help financial institutions issue, anchor, and manage digital assets. So if you want to do that or are interested in that, feel free to find us here at the conference. When we looked at Soroban, one of the things we felt was missing was emerging markets data and XM volatility price feeds. Let's say that you are a lending protocol, and your users are taking out loans in currencies that are not their main ones, not their national currencies. Let's say that you are Nigerian, and you're taking out a loan in US dollars. If your Nigerian naira depreciates in relation to US dollars, then your interest payments will rise relatively, and you'll be at more of a risk of a default. Your users will be at a higher risk of default. This is one reason why we created LightEcho, to enable lending markets in users' own national currencies, and importantly also to allow users to hedge against these fluctuations. We're very excited to have just today talked to various teams that want to integrate with us already. And now Anthony will talk a little bit more about why more should join us.
Yeah, so we looked at, there's obviously, like Soroban came out, they were sort of second, came out after Ethereum. We've just kind of done the same thing. We looked around at Chainlink and other existing oracles and tried to figure out what can be done better or equally as well. So we looked at data accuracy. We want to make sure we have uptime. In the backend data feeds, it'll be basically, we have different partners providing the data feeds. There'll be diversity of data feeds. There'll be checks to verify that the data is correct, the server's up. There's no token, so that's a little bit different from Chainlink. You won't have to pay to use the data. And there'll be resistance to manipulation. We've already got SDKs available, so it should be like one line of code to integrate. We'll have SDKs for Python, JavaScript, and then we've got examples in Rust, so you can call it. Right now we've got a JS Fiddle, which you can go on there right now and play with it. And we've got an example contract that we did. So it should be really easy to get started. In this example, click again. Maybe the video didn't work, but so there was a video of a fiddle, and in the fiddle he was looking at, you click and there's an up-down contract where it's pulling data into and storing it and then looking at the next thing. So again, we've got different SDKs, probably have 5 lines of code to integrate it, and then we've got bounties for those who prove that they've integrated it.
And that video is outdated. We have a new one out, which you can find in our GitHub.
We've deployed to testnet as of, when did we go live in testnet? A week or two ago. With a few little hiccups. The JavaScript library was initially out of date, and that now is good. We are doing an audit. We're getting a third-party auditor to come and have a look at our Rust smart contract. We've got an example code that we did for Sorobanathon. And then we'll initially be starting with XLM data, XLM volatility feed. So you should be able to, if you're interested in making a smart contract that's an option, come and meet with us. We might have some funding for that. If you want to do like an XLM to USD option contract, that could be interesting. And then we still have some updates in terms of the verification of uptime, verification of data versus like Binance or versus other third-party providers.
Thank you, and come and find us if you're interested in integrating. Thank you.